Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today I would like to share with you my brief review of the movie Oppenheimer that is currently running in the cinemas. This film takes great care in an attempt to depict the emotional turmoil of an exceptional individual, and it is also a movie that fails to demonstrate the full extent of that individual's contribution to the creation of the atomic bomb, and it is also a movie that fails to restrain itself in terms of its runtime. Now let's unpack that statement. J. Robert Oppenheimer is one of the most brilliant minds that have ever lived. Not only was he gifted, he did not hesitate to put his gift to work. Without putting yourself in his shoes, it is nearly impossible to imagine how someone with his level of knowledge would feel if their life's work was haunting them before it was even accomplished. How deep your worries would be if you had thousands of thoughts and ideas running through your mind constantly, giving you unimaginable ways how the future product of your work might put an end to the world, both figuratively and practically. This is a very complex idea and emotion to convey, and I think this movie attempts to do it very well. It is undeniable that Cillian Murphy is a great actor, and he is supported by a great cast of side characters, the most notable ones being Emily Blunt and Matt Damon. I would not say that his depiction of the gentleman is accurate, nor should it be. This is a drama film and not a documentary, and I think the artistic freedom allows the movie makers to attempt and demonstrate how they believe Dr. Oppenheimer felt going through the turmoil of his life. For this alone, the perspective of a worry that hardly anyone ever had to experience, this film is worth seeing. Now, as to the creation of the atomic bomb, this movie does not focus on this pivotal moment in human history, but rather uses it as an unmissable and crucial event in the life of its main character. This movie does not attempt to create a setting to fully and comprehensively present the collective and individual sacrifice this breakthrough took and the effect it had on the entire world. So if you are interested in that aspect of the story, I'm afraid this film will not have nearly enough detail to satisfy your curiosity, and the timeline jumps will be quite infuriating as well. Now the runtime. I understand the creators wanted to be extremely thorough in their demonstration of the main character's story arc, and of course, there was plenty of material to present from the life of this exceptional individual. But I believe the creators should have been more thorough in their scene selection for the final cut. This film has a clear single focus, the emotional life of J. Robert Oppenheimer, and so every event and character in the film is there to build the picture piece by piece and then to allow it to develop. Imagine constructing a complex model kit with mechanical parts and motors, and then putting it through a series of motions leading to the end of that creation. It all works well until you start adding exactly the same parts again and again without them affecting the final result in any noticeable way. That's what happens quite a bit in the second half of this film. Realistically, it has about 2 hours of material, maybe 2 hours and 10 or 15 minutes at most. I think the overall impression this film leaves on the viewers could have been more profound if the story had fewer redundant scenes and thus drawn-out runtime. Last but not least, I think the biggest negative thing I can say about this film is how bad of a job it did depicting the first successful test of the atomic bomb. Purely from the visual and the audio perspectives, there is very little sense of scale and violence. Once again, I appreciate the focus is Dr. Oppenheimer and how the event affected him, but if you decide to depict something that monumental, you should do your absolute best to present said event focusing on what made it so profound and impactful. Watching the atomic bomb explosion in this film, you would think it's nothing more than a bright flash, a mushroom cloud, a slight shockwave caused air bomb to your chest, and the poor audio assault on your ears, which by the way is a trick this movie uses to depict something akin to panic attacks Dr. Oppenheimer had. It is not, it simply isn't. It is a violent, horrific event that demonstrates a fraction of what humankind is capable of, making it even more so terrifying. Anyway, to wrap this review up, if you're interested in a very dramatic interpretation of Dr. Oppenheimer's life, and his emotional state in particular, this is a must-see film. If you're a fan of Cillian Murphy and his blue eyes, this is a must-see film. But if you're interested in the history of how the United States developed, tested, and first used the atomic bomb, I'm afraid this movie will leave you high and dry. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like, and if you really do, subscribe and get notified whenever a new video goes up. I look forward to reading your opinions about the movie Oppenheimer in the comments section, and do let me know if there is a movie or a show you would like me to review. That is all I have to speak of today. Goodbye.